Hey everyone, so earlier I went over the patch notes. I know a lot of you were confused about the decreased stagger impulse, and we've got word from the community manager on exactly what it is. I'm also going to briefly test and cover all of the ruptured enemies so far, let you know what's good against them, and I will showcase the new missions as well, even the cave system. But that's not all. There's a lot more to go over. And as always, if you enjoy the content, please support the channel by tapping the like button. It'd mean a lot to me if you gave it a like. Now let's jump right in. Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. Well, it all started when I downloaded the latest Helldivers 2 patch. Next thing you know, I'm struck by a damn Hive Lord that sent me so high into the sky that I came crashing down. This new enemy isn't exactly new, but for some of you it is, and it's a tough boss to fight. If you're wondering about the HP, it's pretty damn high. How high, you might ask? It's actually 150,000 HP, which is quite massive for an enemy, but it makes sense given its size. Anyway, you can see right here on the Helldivers wiki page that some numbers were data mined. That's the total amount of health, as I mentioned a few seconds ago. Overall, I recommend using anti-tank mines, thermite grenades, laser cannons, hell bombs, and even an exosuit wouldn't hurt either, because you're going to need to dish out a ton of damage to defeat one Hive Lord. Not to mention its armor is protected with both Tank 1 and Tank 2, and its weakest spot, which is medium armor, is located directly at the mouth. As long as you can inflict a ton of damage before it disappears, you should be good to go. Like I said, it's a tough battle, but that's all you need to know about this specific Terminid boss. Next up, I did some testing on the new Dragonroach enemy. The weakest spot on this particular enemy is its wings, which have light armor. I highly suggest targeting the wings, this way you won't need an anti-tank stratagem. However, for testing purposes, I thought I'd test out how weak the cranium is when inflicting damage. If you're going to use an anti-tank stratagem, the first one I recommend would be the Quasar Cannon. Infinite ammo, and all you have to do is simply aim for the head, charge up, and fire away. By doing so, you can one-shot the Dragonroach without any issues. As you can see in this video clip, it went down quickly. The second stratagem I highly recommend is the good old recoilless rifle. Aim at the dome, and it's a one-shot. However, if you do not do this, you're going to have to aim twice at the body, or at least near the head, to put down this particular enemy. That's just how it works. So, yeah, I mean, you could aim for the wings. That might be a better option. Yet, the whole idea here is for testing purposes, to let you know what to do and not to do. And as I mentioned, the wings are very weak. Speaking of not doing something correctly, I wouldn't recommend the Wasp at all. The Wasp launcher is completely useless to some extent. Now, you can use it to take down this enemy, but it's going to take at least 3 canisters. At least for me it did, and that was way too much, and it took forever in my opinion. Alright, moving along, we're now going to go over the new ruptured enemy variants, and I'm going to tell you what's best against them. First, we have the Rupture Charger. This enemy is just like the other Rupture enemy variants in terms of how it burrows underneath the surface, and then once it's done digging around, it'll pop its entire body out of the surface. Now, the thing about the new variants in general, they're exactly like the originals. Their health is the same, meaning, for example, you can take out a Rupture Charger by throwing a thermite, which will explode after a few seconds, leaving the charger lifeless. You can even use the recoilless rifle or whatever you've used before to take out chargers. It will work the same on the ruptured variant. The next enemy up is the Rupture Warrior, which I'm going to briefly cover. This Warrior variant is similar to the Charger. It goes underground and then leaps out to attack you, except the attack is so quick. I suggest timing it so you can dodge the attack, or using a shield generator as it will block the swipe when they leap out to hit you. As for health, it's the same as the original, so 2 shots with any AR will do, and if you have an M90 shotgun, it'll go down with 1 hit. The third and final Rupture variant is the Rupture Spewer. This one is similar to the other two, except the big difference is that this sucker can hit you from far away. It'll pop its head up occasionally just like a mole, aim, and spew acid at you. I highly suggest throwing a stun on all enemies when they're underground because you can see how they're running up to you, the rubble and whatnot, right? The rocks are shaking. You can actually stun them while they're underneath, and that'll give you enough time to dish out damage. Also, I'd hate to reiterate, but their health is the same as the original nursery spewers. Moving along, let's go over the 2 brand new missions. First, starting off with the oil extraction mission. I know there's a specific name tied to it, but for now, I'm just going to call it that, where you have to drive this massive rig around, and it's actually called the Gator. This Gator has a turret on the top. Now, the thing with this turret is that you can run out of ammo. So most importantly, you want to take it easy because 1, it's powerful. 2, you want to conserve that ammo for later on when you have to take out some powerful foes like a bile titan, maybe an impaler, and hell, it's even good on the good old chargers. So you have your options. So in this next clip, I decided to see whether emoting would speed up the oil extraction during this mission. For those who don't know, if you emote during the flag missions, it'll complete faster, but if you're not emoting, it'll go at its normal pace. This is why I decided to test it out to see if there's a difference. You might be asking, why would I test that out? It's not a flag, it's extracting oil, essentially, right? Well, the reason is that it has the same exact sound as completing flag missions. So I thought surely it has to be the same situation. Turns out, it's not, and you'll notice in the proof here, during my testing, that I completed both objectives at the same exact time, and emoting didn't help one bit. So if you thought about doing this, don't. It's a waste of time. You're better off helping your teammates, unlike me in this video clip, where I completely left my teammate there to fight off the Terminids, which was a bad idea, but hey, it's all for testing purposes. Anyways, this is how long it took to extract the oil, 32 seconds. And that's how long it'll take for each objective, whether you're emoting or not emoting. So again, it doesn't matter, just complete the objectives and then move on to the very last one. And if you don't know what happens here, if you haven't completed this mission yet, this is what happens. So the Pelican's going to come down, it's going to pick up all of the oil you've collected, and then the whole entire rig is set to self-destruct. I'm not joking here. So you can tell the Pelican right here picked it up. It's pretty much saying, you know, hey, goodbye. And then hasta la vista to me and my teammate here because, wow, that is actually a thing. So watch out for that. The last and final mission I'm going to cover is going to be the brand new cave systems. I highly recommend using a mech, whether you're doing this solo or with a team. The reason why is because you're going to be able to go straight in, annihilate everything, and just get straight to the objective. However, before you do that, make sure you pick up your Hell Bomb and then get inside your mech. Otherwise, it's going to be a difficult time. Now, with that being said, once you get close to the objective, you'll know you're close because if you look at the ceiling, you're going to see these, I don't know, lung tubes, if you will. And you're going to see the large lung right here, the Spore Lung. Your rockets are practically useless here. So what I suggest, again, is using your Hell Bomb, activating it, and just run for dear life. Now, after a few seconds, of course, the Hell Bomb will go off, and it'll destroy the Spore Lung. I recommend this method right here because it's easy. You use mech, you go straight in, and you're out, and it's just easy, easy stuff. But there are 2 things you should watch out for. First off, this cave area is sort of bugged at the moment. There was a specific spot in the cave that I thought surely was going to be water, and I would have drowned in it, yet it turned out to be water. However, it wasn't fully loaded, and I fell right through. It sucked so much, and I couldn't get back up. Ultimately, I had to leave the game and restart the mission. The second thing I recommend watching out for, if you're using a mech, is to avoid walking across the acid lakes inside. They're not like the ones outside where you can walk straight across. As you can see in this clip, I fell through and there was nothing I could do but take the loss. Nevertheless, I suggest avoiding those 2 situations if you can. Lastly, for today's video, I saw a few comments wondering what Stagger Impulse does, since it was mentioned in the patch notes. So I asked Mitchimus if he could elaborate or explain further. Mitchimus revealed that Impulse is the amount of force an item receives when it is ragdolled. They lowered it so it